The views expressed in this podcast, Champ and Tramp, belong to the host and guest, not the Champ and Tramp podcast itself. It's intended for entertainment information, so please use discretion. We're not responsible for any outcomes resulting from the content discussed. For athletes like myself who are always on the go and busy with training and life, it's challenging to prep meals and getting proper nutrition day in and day out.
Come on, Frankie. It's not hard just to grab a burger at the drive-thru.
No, Raj. I'm talking about quality nutrition like steak and potatoes to make sure I'm fueling my body before I'm at its best. This is why Muscle Meds created Carnivore Lean Meal. This right here is a whole natural food meal replacement, providing you with 40 grams of beef protein isolate along with 40 grams of carbs from sweet and white potatoes in each serving.
No way. That's pretty badass. How's the taste, though?
Delicious. They just dropped this mocha flavor latte, and it's fire. Go get you some and put the burgers down, burger boy.
I'll take your word for it and grab one now, buddy.
And that goes for anyone out there who's struggling to prep meals. Head over to musclemeds.rx.com and fuel your body to perform at its best with Carnivore Lean Meal.
Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, FE. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. Whenever tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the champ and the tramp, let the bomb blast.
Franklin.
I'm not. Is my thing?
We're on. It's all the way live. Check. You got
Boom, there we
quite
go.
a nice collection of knives there you're getting there, buddy.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like knives.
We got a K-bar and a couple of what's that Chinese
Temu,
website?
baby.
Temu.
Bro, do you have any black relatives?
No.
No? You sure?
Well, you're saying this because you're Sicilian?
No.
What?
Did you hear about Kanye?
Oh, yes.
He said
yes.
he sucked his cousin.
Wait.
His little cousin. You're younger than
You were practicing this
Are
line
you younger
for a
than
while.
Kanye?
You've been practicing.
Are you
this.
younger than Kanye?
I don't know. I'll be 50
Because
in
he
June.
said he sucked off his little cousin
I saw that. Yeah.
until he was 14.
Isn't that crazy?
That's fucking
What's
nuts.
the name of the song? Cousins. That's the name of the song.
Because he said this song's cousin is really about my cousin who is in jail for killing somebody right now. And I told him recently I told him back in the day that we can no longer look at porno magazines together and act them out. And then he says I was sucking my cousin's dick till I was 14. Bro, is that so? Listen, it's just so crazy because we're coming out. It's like coming out that all these gangster rappers that we grew up that were so supposedly so hard are all clapping each other's cheeks, bro. Is that crazy?
Well,
right?
Wait, who was the one that was open? Eazy-E, right? He was open about it, wasn't he?
No,
he wasn't. He had it.
He had AIDS. He had
Died
AIDS.
of AIDS, but because he was gay, right?
No. People think it could have been needle, but or he was gay and nobody.
I thought it was pretty.
Well, they used to call him gay. I don't think it was not. It was not out in the open. No, he wasn't admitting it.
Well, your favorite rapper is, they say in Hollywood, it's well known. He's Will Smith, right? It's your favorite rapper, isn't he? Pretty openly, not openly gay, but
yes, it's known
in Hollywood.
It's known, it's known. Yeah. But like Meek Mill, right? Remember you heard that video of support they say, which I don't know if it's true, where Pete Diddy's giving it to him.
Yeah,
even do you ever see? I think we talked about this a while ago with the Tupac video when he's like 17 and he's like
very flamboyant.
Very flamboyant. It's crazy, and this guy's thug life.
You know, you would the last music genre you would think that would go with would be that hardcore
one.
rap.
Hell
right?
yeah, you would be like, no way, because that's like the most, when they call you, especially back in the day, it's the most masculine, toughest thing, being a rapper, this and that, and to call someone to be gay is the worst thing you could be in that world.
Country's on top now, baby. Country's the most masculine one.
Are you saying country guys like it on top?
No, I'm saying it's gotta be.
Country?
If rap is getting
rap's the bottom.
If rap is getting labeled as gay now, country just took over that spot. I would say as the most masculine, right?
So what you would think rock dude looks like a lady.
Oh, yeah, true. Dude looks like a lady. Maybe is not the best song for
right. You know who they're talking about?
You would think.
You know who they were talking about?
No.
That's Aerosmith.
Yeah.
I think Motley Crue.
Really?
They were talking about Motley Crue. Dude looks like.
Is that like a behind the music thing? You saw that?
Yeah, I heard it. I've heard it. Yeah. Pretty wild.
Aerosmith all looked like ladies too. So what's
No, they didn't wear makeup though. I don't think Aerosmith.
Come on, they didn't wear makeup.
I don't think not like the Motley Crue guys did.
Yeah, well,
like eyeliner and stuff.
But Motley Crue always had like a crazy. What do they call them? Groupies.
Yeah.
Women. Like
Bro,
thousands of
Tommy,
them.
right? Wasn't Tommy? What's his name?
The drummer. Shit. What the fuck's his name? What the fuck is it?
Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee.
Lee.
Jeez, I don't know. I can think of his name. Yeah.
Didn't like a kid died in his house, right? Yeah.
Drowned in the pool.
Birthday. It was his kid's birthday party.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep, that's crazy. Switching gears to some local news, buddy. Fucking, our state's on fire. Like 10 miles away from where we're at right now.
Smell it. You can smell it.
It's literally, 10 miles maybe away? Maybe?
Yeah.
Where it started. I don't know where it's. I think it's burned something like 13,000 acres or something now.
No houses though, right?
Not that I'm aware.
I
definitely businesses. Definitely businesses.
Oh, businesses?
Definitely.
Really? Definitely?
I think. I don't know if I have this right or not, but I think it's some of those businesses right in the Miller Air Park area on that like Dover Road. I think it's that area. But
what were they calling? They're calling it the something road fire. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that too.
What's that?
Double Trouble Road.
I think Wells Mills.
Wells Mills.
Yeah.
They say they spotted it 9:30 yesterday morning. Was when the first. You know how they put people up in those fire towers now because. I guess it's a regular occurrence in the Pine Barrens because you have to because it's so flammable. I mean the Pine Barrens, all those pine needles for years and years and years, but they're saying this is the worst forest fire we've had in 20 years in Jersey.
20 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Jesse's power's out down in Forked River.
Well, my cousin, I talked to my cousin earlier. He said it just got put back on.
Oh, that's right. He's in Forked River.
Yeah, he said it just got put back on.
You said. See, I thought maybe the fire was hitting like what do they call them, substations or something like that. You're saying they're intentionally turning it off.
Yeah.
What's the purpose behind that?
I mean, I'm not. Fuck do I know?
No.
Well, I would think because if the power, maybe it could blow up a charger or what do they call those?
Transformer.
You know what I mean? It could blow up a transformer if it has power. If the fire goes on but it has no power, maybe that stops that from happening if it catches fire. You know what I mean?
I suppose. I mean, it makes as much sense as anything I can think of.
If you burn electric,
it's already on fire. So
I know, but it could probably make it worse, right?
I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Wasn't there? What weren't they? Remember in fall when we had that drought?
Yep.
They were worried about forest fires. There was one, right? One happened, didn't it? But it was contained pretty quickly.
They said I saw a guy speak that said last year at this time there was something like.
No, remember
300 and let's say 350 fires and 350 acres burned. So it's like an acre per fire. This year there's 600 and something and like I don't know 30,000 acres burned. Wow. We're like,
how about New York? Remember the fires in New York that made like the sky orange and all that stuff?
Are you talking about during Sandy when all those buildings were burning down?
No, like last year.
Oh, I don't remember. Where
was
it?
Remember? It was in New York, and even here. Remember? I remember smelling fire, and there was orange in the sky.
Really?
You don't remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those were.
They were saying they were burning chemicals. Cause they were like, "What the fuck is this burning?"
So it was like a residential and commercial ship burning, or just commercial ship burning?
Ship.
Shit.
I don't know.
Like
it was up
warehouses
in New York. I don't know exactly what it was. I think they really didn't know what it was, but people were speculating that they're burning chemicals and shit. Because it was like an orange tinge to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's hope and pray none of our fellow New Jerseyans get displaced. The last one I remember, the last fire in this area I remember was, I think it was last fall. It was a guy that was at the Jackson shooting range. I forget the name of it. And he was shooting something called, what's it called? Dragon's Breath. You know what that is? It's like magnesium 12 gauge rounds, like shotgun rounds. They put magnesium, hot loads in them. And when I know you're gonna make a joke about Kanye West now, but anyway, when you fire them out, it literally just sprays like magnesium. You know what magnesium is? When you put heat, it looks crazy. It's like giant sparks shooting out. Well, they're illegal to have here in New Jersey, and he was shooting it into a like an embankment, but on the back side of the embankment was leaves, and somehow some of this went over the top, caught the leaves, and dude, that burned a ton of shit. They actually threw the book at that guy. Because even though he was out of range, you're not supposed to.
They hit him. He was out of range. They hit him with the book.
No, they threw the book at him because obviously he should have known better. But that burnt quite a big area of Jackson last year, and I know people displaced. I don't know if houses were burned, but I'm pretty sure I saw pictures of this fire going on now where businesses were definitely.
Yeah, that's fucked, man.
Yeah.
Weren't those fires last year, Canada?
Yeah,
And then
actually,
they
you're
were
right.
coming down Western New York.
Where we got the smoke here, yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Oh, you
Yeah,
said New
yeah.
York. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah,
it
that's
was
right.
definitely
That's
Canada.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were showing
But
a
no,
lot
but
of.
I remember it was in Canada, but New York City was orange.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of came down here, not as
Yeah,
bad
for
as
a
New
couple
York.
days
though.
though. We
Yeah.
had it.
Yeah, I do remember that. Remember all the like satellite imagery or whatever.
I remember being
we
in
were
my
like
cold
blacked
plunge,
out.
being in my cold plunge, being like, bro, what's that smell? Dude, it smells like fire, and it was that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like, how far away is that? Canada? Probably.
9 hours,
Yeah.
right? Like
So
in a
whatever.
car.
Yeah.
You know.
Long ways,
crazy.
but that was a massive,
Yeah.
massive fire. You
So
know,
how big is
they
this
do
how big is
forestry
this fire?
management. You know, like obviously California just had some horrible ones, and I heard Trump like, if we rake the forest, they're talking about forest management, essentially going in and cleaning up all the down limbs, which is costly. You know what I mean? I don't.
Man, we ain't found shit.
Yeah, combing the desert.
Now, are those like, they do those controlled burns for that?
They what they do in the Pine Barrens is do a lot of controlled burns, but they have like fire lines set up. They'll go clear them out, so the fire gets to a point and it can't jump the road, or it shouldn't jump the road. But these like unmanned ones that just break out, they don't. I'm sure there's not.
Because
Fire
they have
breaks
a fire
everywhere.
like in that area where it is now, like maybe 20 years ago? Because remember
the
that whole
Pine
area of the
Barrens.
Parkway was like burned up for
Oh
a long
yeah,
time.
Parkway South was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
burned forever. Yeah.
There's always in the Pine Barrens. There's always. I mean, it's almost uncontrollable.
That's what
always,
they do
it's
with
always
these
like this
forest
area.
fires,
though.
little fire tinders.
But that's how they like like out west more so probably. But they like David Goggins. That's what he does. He fights fires when it's off season or whatever, and you dig. That's how you beat fires. You have to dig trenches and stuff.
Yeah, fire breaks. They call them.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. God bless everybody, man. Praying everybody's okay, and nobody's obviously pray for everybody's life, but also pray nobody gets
I
displaced
want
or
to know. Like,
loses
is there
a
a
home.
way to like give supplies or anything, help anybody out?
You know who I saw post about it today?
Oh,
Bill Spadia.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I did see that.
Yep.
I did see that.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be good to do something for the people.
They're saying there are people. I saw some social media stuff today that, again, people are saying. I'm not saying this. People are saying that essentially Murphy has done nothing so far, and they're saying it's because we're in Ocean County and we're a red county, and
Probably.
fucking Jersey's blue as shit, but we're red as shit, and that's the reason why he hasn't.
New Jersey's not blue as shit, bro.
Well,
Jersey's fucking pretty blue.
What?
pol-
You're
politically,
crazy, bro.
like
You're crazy.
they control everything in government.
Yeah.
For the most part,
I mean,
they have both chambers and or Congress or whatever you want to call it.
yeah, well, the
And they
mayor's
have
gonna flip. It's gotta flip, dude. There's no fucking way of
Hopefully.
putting in another guy like this. Come on.
Depends who's counting the votes.
Yeah, true.
You say I'm crazy. You're not. You're definitely not saying Jersey's a red state. You're just saying it's changing more to red. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely,
Yeah, I would agree with that, but it's still pretty fucking blue.
bro. North Jersey, like North Jersey is red.
Well,
South Jersey is
Bergen
red.
County- you're not talking
the
Bergen
shore
County.
is red. You go the
Bergen
turnpike.
County is
Listen,
always the one that flips blue.
The line of the turnpike,
Yeah.
that's blue.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
Trump win Bergen?
Well, I'm talking about Ciattarelli
Oh,
when he ran. Bergen County, there was like 41,000 votes came in overnight that were all mail-in ballots,
Yeah.
and they all dumped to blue. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I don't know.
But I think like when Bill was here last week talking about like Ciattarelli's just a weak candidate.
Are we saying his name right? Is it Ciattarelli?
Ciattarelli.
Ciattarelli.
Yeah.
Cheater.
Chia.
I mean, like Trump's like his own animal. Like he gets people from both sides, and he's just, people could look at Ciattarelli and be like, "This guy's a fraud." Because
Dude.
like in this last election, like these towns could go all blue, but then presidency they go red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like in deep
He's-
blue areas,
he's-
like Patterson went for Trump. That's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, that is
Like
crazy.
Passaic County went for Trump.
Patterson's
like, that's crazy.
very, very Muslim, correct?
Yeah, it's little
Yeah.
Yeah.
Palestine, little Palestine.
Yeah,
they're
but
calling
it's
it.
like such a mix, like of everybody. So
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I don't know. I'd like to be. Obviously, we're not on his level, but I'd like to be like Rogan. I'd like to have Ciattarelli in here, and
He follows the show
does he
on Instagram. Yeah,
really?
yeah.
I wonder if you've seen the Spady
Jack,
episode.
you're welcome to come in, and I would love to interview you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll interview him.
I'd like to be fair and unbiased.
Yeah, I mean, I keep seeing a bunch of his ads where he has
What's that?
Spady talking shit about
Where's that mic over? Seems like it's right in your face now.
No, it's good. It's good, buddy.
Okay, pal.
It's quite far away.
Okay, it looks like from here, it looks like in your face, but okay.
I mean, it's kind of far away, bro.
You just touched it with your hand.
I mean,
your
it's not.
Your arm's 18 inches
it's
long.
It's not even on camera, bro. Relax.
You got a dinosaur arm and you just touched it.
No, dude. I don't think your arms are that long for as big as you are, bro. As a matter of fact,
Bro, you saying you got long arms?
I do
For your size?
Yes, I do. I do have long arms for my size.
4 feet tall with a 3 feet wingspan.
Hey,
You got friend. Let me start over. You're.
hang on, let me pull it out of your mouth.
You're a very popular guy. You definitely have a long list of friends. Would you say, and how would you classify the difference between friends and acquaintances?
Acquaintances are passerbyers. Friends are dudes you call and talk on the phone on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I always say some of the best times of my life have been when the acquaintances. You know what I mean? Like, but I wouldn't trust them. So here's my question, my proposal to you. You have to leave. You have to leave your friends, right? Would you leave? I guess is a better way to say it. Would you leave your friends in a room for 24 hours with your wife and all your money? Everybody on your friend list.
Wait, what?
Would you leave everybody on your friend list in a room, just them, your wife, and all your money?
What do you mean? Like,
Would you trust them that much?
Yeah,
in a room
my friends.
almost?
My
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
My friends. Yes.
Okay. How big is your friend list?
Not. I mean, it's small.
Exactly. That's how I feel about it. I think most of my circle, I would put in the acquaintance. I've probably got really like 5 friends that I would fucking trust with my, deepest, darkest secrets, or say, bud, we're going to do something, get in the fucking car. Like, what was that line from The Town?
Yeah.
He says, we got to go do something. Don't ask any questions. Or we got to go beat some people up or something like that. Don't ask any questions. Because he says, whose car are we taking?
Who's driving?
Yeah, who's driving? Maybe that's it, yeah. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, how many people do you actually trust with the most, not that this scenario is ever going to happen. Obviously, it's not. But it's just a question. My list would be very small.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a dumb question.
Okay. Well, it's a podcast.
I get it. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it for the entertaining factor, and yeah, I guess. But yeah, I would. There's a few people that are real close.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, that's everybody, don't you think?
Yeah.
You think a lot of people have a lot of close
I think
friends?
a lot of people think they do. Yes, I did think that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think they're.
I think you just go through your phone so you talk to on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You know who your people are.
Yeah.
Like a friend of mine said, like if you're the one always calling someone and always checking on them and always just, they don't really reciprocate it, they're probably not really your friend. And you could
yes and no. You're not a big talker, bro.
No, but
I'm not a big talker.
True,
You're
but
my
that's what I'm
friend, but we don't call each other every day. What's up, bro? You know what I mean?
But we see each other on a regular basis.
Right.
Like Ligore, I don't see him a lot so we'll talk on the phone.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like people like Kurt, I don't talk on the phone much because we see him all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for someone like Marky Lee, I don't see him that much. Where he's not a talker, but if we get on the phone, we'll talk for an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think just because I know you pretty well, I think I could name your list of people that you would trust in a situation like that. But yeah, it's just I just think as you get older, maybe my point here is as you mature and you get older, when you're young, you think everybody's your best friend.
Yeah.
Everybody. You know what I mean?
I don't know, bro. Growing up, man, I had a close knit. Like I was friends with like you said, I was friends with everybody, all different groups, all this, but like I hung out with the same type of people all the time.
And they still to this day you ride or die?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Kinda. I mean,
see, it was a little different for me. Same scenario. They're still my ride or dies, but they're back in Maine. You know what I mean? Like I called. I was just texting with 4 of them in a group text on my way here. Definitely ride or dies. Like those are dudes I would say, yo, got to do some shit. I know at least 2 of them would say, okay, who's driving? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Actually, I did some crazy shit with one of them.
Is that with your cousin?
I knew that was coming. Just always gay shit on your head, bro. Always.
Yeah. Oh, I went on vacation.
Yes. Tell me about that.
Honestly,
The DR.
It was like
I was in the TR to get my hair done, and
Yeah.
I didn't get to see much of it.
it was.
They
dope.
just had a giant club that collapsed in the DR. Did you see that? The whole fucking roof collapsed and killed a bunch of people.
Holy shit!
It was a big ass club too.
Well, we stayed at the Hard Rock Casino,
Okay.
and it was gigantic.
Oh, really?
Huge.
Is that like one of those deals where they have so much under one roof you really don't have to leave?
Didn't have to leave. We did do. We did 2 excursions though.
Oh, okay.
We did one where we went on like 3 different beaches, which was whack.
Really?
It was 12. It was 12 hours. The whole fucking day was 12 hours, and we were on a boat more than we were on a beach.
Really?
And it wasn't like a nice boat. You know what I mean?
Really?
I'm like, oh my god. So
Anybody
whatever.
get seasick?
It was cool. What?
Anybody get seasick?
I took Dramamine.
You don't. Frankie does not like fucking any rocking or twirling action.
I
or
took
anything
Dramamine.
like,
I was
You
worried
were
about I was
good?
gonna get the, tired.
Don't they put those little sticky things on?
You
Yeah.
could do that too. If they didn't have it there, they had the Dramamine. And they said, "Oh, I can make you sleepy." I'm like, so I was like, do I want to take it? But I took it. I wasn't sleepy.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You're high energy.
Yeah. And but like the first day we got there, we're going to Sun, and Francesco, he's a white boy, and we're like, go cover up. So he was a
you got
mess.
fried.
I was a mess a
You got
little
fried?
bit. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, it looked like he was wearing stockings.
Really?
He had white, white, and then all red. So he was a little bit of
Uncomfortable.
So he kind of just stayed on like that next day. He pretty much just stayed in the shade, wearing rash guard the whole day.
Damn. That's the worst, sunburns, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like sunburn when I was a kid, I used to get it bad. Now it's like, I don't know. Like pain is just different.
Well,
now.
your skin is toughened up. When
Yeah.
you're a kid, you get it. It sucks, you know?
True. Or I think I'm just used to pain too.
Well, that's for sure. That's for certain. No question about that.
But like it was kind of an uneventful trip. In a good way. In
okay.
a good way, if that makes sense.
So I'm not going to be a good judge of the DR because I went there for a hair transplant. I was there for 3 days. I went to the facility. I walked around my little area I was in the hotel. That's it. So I'm not a good judge. We did go to dinner the first night to I forget the name of the area. Gated community, really, really nice dinner, really nice area. But other than that, barely saw any of the DR. You're going to be a better judge because you hear a lot of bad reports about the DR. How would you rate it? 1 to 10. Where you stayed.
Oh, it was phenomenal.
Awesome.
Great.
Awesome. So,
Yeah.
See?
The beach was the water's pretty dope too because it's not like Florida where it's like no waves. It was honestly felt like here. Felt like here. Like it was super rough, almost like too rough to go out. Not really could surf, not really like surfing conditions, but I mean there was constant breaks. You know what I mean? But the water was crystal clear blue too, and it wasn't too hot. It was perfect, man.
That's awesome.
And like no stories of people being assholes or nothing.
And it's not like a crazy flight. What was it? 3 hours?
3 and change.
Three and change.
Yeah. We took JetBlue, so I thought it was going to be miserable because I heard JetBlue is, you hear old bad shit about JetBlue. Yeah. And dude, honestly, it was probably one of the best flight experiences I've had.
No way.
Got on a plane easy, nice brand new plane, big screen TVs.
No way.
Movies. I watched Gladiator 2 on the way back.
That's awesome.
You ever seen that yet?
Isn't Denzel in that?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen it yet.
Actually, pretty good, man. Do you remember Gladiator 1?
Of course, great fucking movie.
Yeah, well, they kind of like they bring it's 20 years, 25 years later.
Yeah.
So like some of the same characters are in it.
Yeah.
So pretty good. I won't tell you. I know you won't watch it, but I won't tell you.
No, it was great.
Yeah. Living on an island.
Island time.
Yeah.
People don't understand island time if you haven't been to an island. They literally are in no rush to do anything.
Yeah, no.
There's no sense of urgency for anything on island time.
No.
None. You want to order some food, you might get it in 15 minutes. You might get it in an hour.
Yeah, we ate. I mean, everywhere we ate was on, in the hotels. All
Well, that would be
inclusive,
different because they're
all-inclusive.
probably on a
Yeah,
schedule. But
yeah. But it was packed. It was, it's a casino. I was like, Renee, I'm like, this is gonna be a party hotel probably. But it wasn't. It was like it was like everything, mix of everything.
That's cool.
Kids, like.
Did you get recognized a fair amount or no?
A little bit, not much,
Not much?
but a little bit. What's funny is everyone recognizes me as like our age or older.
Yeah,
No young kids.
yeah.
It's kind of funny. I was actually sitting down, and I don't know. I was waiting for Renee. She's in the store. I'm sitting there. I don't know if I looked like down and out, and some kid comes up to me like, "Hey man, what's up?" I'm like, "Hey." He's like, hey, what are you doing? Da, da, da. I don't know if he noticed my ears or something. He's like, you wrestle? You wrestle? Yeah. He's like, oh, man, I wrestle. I'm trying to go to Michigan State. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. He's like, you got some tips for me? Because I was like, man, just get after it. Work hard, man. You got to work harder than the next guy, you know?
That's funny.
And he's like, damn. He's like, so you know, what'd you study? What'd you study in school? Like, real just like curious type kid.
Yeah.
He probably had, you know, he'd probably be like a senior or junior in high school. Had no idea who I was,
That's
too.
great.
And I'm like, he's like, yeah. Well, he's like, well, I'm going to school for business. What'd you study? I'm like, I did political science. He's like, no way. He's like, yeah. He's like, what do you do now? I'm like, well, I don't know, jiu-jitsu school. He's like, get out of here. I'm a blue belt. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, man.
That's awesome, man. Where was he from?
Michigan, yeah. He's like, man,
that's what my sister.
Cheer up, buddy. I'm like, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm just waiting for my wife, bro.
I'm married. Just say I'm married.
Yeah, I'm married. Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit, that's great. Yeah, I don't really. I mean, I haven't been affiliated with that show in so long, but if I go to any place with a young crowd, like Jenkinson's, for example, this has happened to me a bunch at Jenkinson's, you'll get the 23, 24-year-old.
They really watch that?
No, listen. That comes, you know, will come up to you and be like, oh, my God, my mom wants to FaceTime you. My mom loves you. That's what I get.
Yeah, I get that.
My mom would love to FaceTime you. Like,
if I get it, you're my dad's favorite. No, the one time,
That's what
I was at my kid's school. I think V's. I don't know, one of V or one of them was like, "You're my grandpa's favorite." I'm like, "Damn, dude, damn."
Shows our age, buddy. Shows our age.
It's all right. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't give a shit. I got some buddies that when I was going out, this would have been. I mean, he's only 3 years older than me. But when I was going out, like in my 30s. He always lied about his age. I'm like, fuck, don't do that. You know what I mean? Just fucking be honest. Who cares?
Lied and say he was younger?
Let's say he was younger. Let's say back then he was 37. He would say he's 30. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck that, you know?
Okay, do you see the shit's going on with Shannon Sharpe?
Yes.
I don't really understand. I didn't really get too into it. But she's 20. He's fucking what?
19 when it started.
Because she's 19. He's what?
57, I think.
It's kind of crazy, bro. That's a little much. No?
Yeah, and she's got him recorded, voice recording. You hear that? Oh, and I think, do you remember? I don't know if you guys remember this. Months ago, maybe even longer than that ago. Like his Facebook Live went off, and he was having sex with a girl. I think it's that girl.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it's that girl.
So how can she say that?
Yeah. Well, no, because their text messages are out there, and she's encouraging it.
Yeah,
saying,
right. But then
put that gravy in me and stuff like that. I mean, it's hard to
put a big black baby in me.
Yeah. She was going for child support.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know, bro. That's still a little much, bro.
Yep.
I mean, dude, you got to think about it. Dude, he's fucking more than double her age, bro.
Yeah, but it's the classic. I mean, listen, I don't want to. There's a lot of women out there that have been victims, but it seems like when relationships go bad, you're either, you know, a victim of assault or you're a victim of sexual abuse. You know what I mean? It's like, is it always the case?
Yeah.
We know it's not because that baseball player fucking, you know, he suffered the wrath and then he proved his own innocence. What was his name? That guy is like a fucking
Trevor
hero.
Bauer.
Trevor Bauer is a fucking hero. That dude is a hero.
No, I think, listen, especially if you're not guilty, like, listen, it's legal. She's old enough, but it's still creepy.
It's creepy.
Let's be real. It's creepy.
I saw Candace Owens talking about it because Shannon's not a fan of hers, and she's like, "Oh, he got his karma." You know, boy, she's going in. By the way,
on everybody.
She's going in on Israel. She's going in on Trump, Shannon Sharpe, everybody. But see, the thing that I don't get is I always thought Candace was like a political commentator for the most part, but she'll weigh in on a lot of celebrity stuff. Like, what's that? What's the
Blake Lively?
Blake Lively thing?
Yeah.
I'm like, I could care
No,
less. I could care less about that.
I know,
shit.
but she doesn't want someone taking advantage of someone else.
Right.
That's what I think she's going after. She's trying to go like I don't know that story really at all.
I don't either.
Very little bits and pieces.
But I know she's not
she's kind
on
of
their
protecting
side.
the person that's getting bullied
Right.
supposedly by
Correct.
Blake Lively and Ryan
Correct.
Reynolds. You know what I mean?
I
think that's what she does. She tries to go after
bullies
or help out someone that's getting.
I don't follow her closely enough to really have an established opinion, but I will say she's courageous as fuck. You know what I mean?
And she does seem pretty well informed.
She does,
at least researched.
Well,
she looked into
she
that
got
Macron shit.
She got a
crazy.
$5 million offer. I think it was right. Was that? I got that right? $4 or $5 million offer to stop talking about it. Essentially,
Yeah.
What?
Macron, to stop talking about it because they can't make it go. They can't really sue her if it's true. You know what I mean? So they just straight up, I think, offered her.
How can she prove it? How would they prove it? It's true or not true? You know what I mean?
Pull your pants down.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like, how would you prove that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, birth certificate would help, right?
So you're saying if they do sue, they have to prove.
Right.
They have to come up with proof.
I'm not saying it. Everybody's saying that's why they haven't sued because if it wasn't true, they would have a case.
Yeah.
If it's true,
but,
they don't have
but
a
if they
case.
did sue, the like them presenting evidence would be on them.
Right.
Right.
And I know that she got like a cease and desist. She ignored it, and then they reached out to her. So obviously she knows that they're acknowledging that she's talking. And she sent back a questionnaire and said, just answer these. I think it was like 15 questions, and they didn't answer any of them. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But I mean, if that story's true, it's one of the wildest stories. Not because we live in this age now where trans stuff is just popping up everywhere and whatever. But the deeper, at first she was just highlighting that person was a teacher, was his teacher apparently when he was like 14 or 15 or something, and
But isn't there like something crazier that
it is possibly his father?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the story just got wilder and wilder and wilder.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
That's
that's insane. It's insane.
I mean, it would. I mean, I don't know. I'm not. Nothing surprises me anymore.
I have no shock value, bro. Zero, none. Which is sad.
Yeah. Well.
It's just the world we live in. I literally have no shock value. Anything could happen, you know, and you hear all these gasps and, you know, like women like shrieking and stuff. That wouldn't be me. I'm like, shit, I'm not surprised. You know what I mean?
On today's day and age.
Yeah. What else you got for us, pal? I know we didn't prepare a lot.
No,
because,
how about
you were away.
My
what?
The space hose. I mean, I'm joking.
Oh, I'm not that. You bring me up to speed because it was a couple celebrities, correct? What's her name was one of them, and didn't they go into space for like 4 minutes or something and came back?
They went like supposedly like 60 minutes into the atmosphere.
Okay,
so like they didn't go into like outer space.
Like 60 something miles. I
or 60
think.
miles.
Yeah.
60 miles into the atmosphere.
Who was it? Who was the big celeb that was?
Katy Perry.
Yes.
Katy Perry, Gail,
Yes.
who's
King.
Oprah's
Yes.
side piece, Bezos's side piece or wife, wife,
Yeah.
Okay.
and
It's taking an incredible amount of criticism.
And
Right?
now-
Somebody else.
yeah, that's all I really know.
Why is it taking so much criticism?
Well, because they're saying it was fake, but I don't think it was fake. From what I'm hearing, people saying it wasn't fake. They just didn't go into like real space,
Yeah.
like
They're getting
crazy
more
outer
shit 'cause
space.
it's just like tone deaf.
Well, do you remember a
Katy
few?
Perry's acting like
Yes,
it's some like
I heard
crazy,
Yeah.
amazing thing.
I
and
did
they're
hear
like,
that,
Yo,
yes.
people actually like have real shit in their lives, and
right,
just
right.
Like they were they were all done up,
Right.
and like the reason it's getting a lot of flack is because like to see the door opened up or something like the video, and people are saying like no, that door is not like a spaceship door. It's because they didn't need something that strong. They didn't
Well,
go
I
really
saw
that high
the
up.
picture and I thought it was like a Photoshop picture because it didn't look real with this. With it looked totally like set up for a press op shoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which I mean, who knows?
Speaking of Katy Perry, she obviously
Like,
was
why would
married-
they fake that? What's the point of them faking that?
What's
You know
the
what I
point
mean?
of them even doing it? I don't understand.
Well,
what they,
I mean, listen, if you were loaded, right, had all this money, you wouldn't want to go up that high and see space.
would I know?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't because
Remember
my
the guy
is
that
fucking sick.
Remember
but-
the guy that took the hot air balloon up and like stepped off, and he was at like I forget. He was in space for sure, but
No.
you don't remember that? It was
James
a
and the Giant Peach?
few years ago. I think Virgin. What's that name? What's that? Branson?
Branson.
I think Richard Branson sponsored that. I believe.
Okay, yeah, I think I know.
You
what
remember
you're
that?
talking about. Yeah.
It was
yeah.
a pretty crazy video. You see the video of him stepping the edge, and Earth is just this little fucking blueberry down at the bottom, and he just steps off, and the hot air balloon, I guess, just keeps going. I don't know, but
it's all
yeah,
CGI.
that was again. I don't believe
Yeah,
any
it's
of this
true.
shit.
It's true.
You know, you used to break my balls about Roger needs proof. He needs. I do. Now you're kind of like that. Well, I need concrete fucking
It's
evidence.
gonna be. They're gonna have to do something.
I'm gonna have to hold hands with the guy.
With this AI.
Yeah, I know.
They're gonna have to do something.
I know.
Like, dude, AI, like it's getting so good now.
It is. It is. You know, they tried it. In my opinion, they tried it back. You know, with the moon landing, that was before CGI, and now you can pick it apart. With CGI, you can't even tell. You know what I mean?
No way. Yeah.
I always thought, I had a little debate over the weekend. I always thought we'd made it to the moon once. It's not true. We've been to the moon like 4 times, I think, between 69 and 72.
Right.
But my argument remained the same.
But no one walked on the moon, right?
With this person.
No, they did. Yeah, the other people walked on the moon.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
My argument remained the same, because my argument was, if we did it in 69, why haven't we been back? And they're like, well, we've been back. And I was like, when?
No,
and
they lost the technology to go back, though.
How the
fuck did they lose that technology to go
so
back?
So I was wrong if history is actually true, and they're not, the whole thing wasn't some staged photo shoot. So, okay, up to 72, they were walking on the moon. Why did we do it after 72 then? I'll just change my date from 69 to 72.
So what is the year that that the Wright brothers took flight? Do we know? It was like 1920 or something like that?
I think even earlier, wasn't it? Let's see.
Because
Frankie's going to be so hyped if you got that right.
No.
1903.
Okay,
yeah.
1903. So from 1903 to 69 is like pretty much 63-year difference, right? From airplane to moon. Okay? Now, so 69 to 2025. How many years is that? That's another. That's more. That's a bigger gap.
We
right?
haven't been back to the moon,
and
yet.
we haven't been. We can't. And we haven't been back.
It's not that we haven't put crafts. We've put crafts on tons of planets. It's people, right? Why can't we put people back on the moon?
Well, they said you can't go past a certain belt, the Van Ryan belt. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's like super fucking hot.
Yeah, well, and
radiation.
radiation. This and that. So, like, if we can't go through it now, how did we go through it back then?
And how did they call the president and be like,
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
hey, we're on the moon. We don't have that technology now.
I
You know what I mean?
I know.
It's crazy. For me, and I know people are going to say you're a fucking idiot. I don't care.
Wow.
That's one I don't believe. Flat Earth, I'm not down with it. I don't know. I mean, is it plausible? Sure. Am I a flat earther? Nope. Moon landing, I'm out.
I don't think it's plausible, bro.
I don't know, man. Admiral Byrd is the only one that's got me hanging in a little bit. Is his tale, you know what I mean?
Of what?
Well, he didn't actually, to the best of my knowledge, say the Earth is flat, but he said that he flew into, the ice wall in Antarctica, which I guess would be the end of the firmament, correct?
No.
No?
Fucking retard. No.
Okay, so explain to me.
No, I'm joking.
I'm saying that he wrote a book about it, and he was a very intelligent guy.
I'm just saying this. Didn't some guy recently, a flat earther, went up to the Antarctica and was like, "Holy shit, I was wrong."
Yeah.
Pretty much, he came up like this big thing. He was like one of the biggest flat earthers.
I saw that.
And he said what he saw is like, but it's not flat.
But you're calling me an idiot, like I'm saying the Earth's flat. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Admiral Byrd and his story and his book, and because he's a reputable, intelligent guy, would be, what would make me say, is it plausible? I guess so, but I'm not a flat earther. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Andrew, you flat earther or round earther?
At this point, I'm a flat earther. I literally don't.
Whoa!
I don't believe anything anymore.
My thing is this.
I don't either.
We could see Saturn.
Right.
We could see Mars. We could see the moon.
And they're round.
They're all round, right? Well, if we take water and you drop it, what does it happen? Mm-hmm. It turns into a fucking ball. Even teardrops.
But even
raindrops.
everything,
I could see the Earth being like a raindrop.
Everything you just named, all the planets you just named, are uninhabitable. Ours is habitable. So
what does that have to do anything?
Maybe there's some different trajectory because we're flat. I don't know.
What does that have anything to do with it?
What do you mean? What does that have?
I don't think that makes any sense and have anything to do with why the first flat. Because
maybe
we're inhabitable, so it makes.
Well, maybe our position to the sun, where you know,
right.
I mean?
But why would that make us flat?
It doesn't. I'm not saying it makes us flat. I'm just saying that maybe we're habitable because we face the sun more because we are flat. I don't know. Just saying.
I mean, the sun's in the sky.
Yeah, so are we.
I mean, if it's round,
so are we.
I know, but I mean, whether the Earth's flat or round,
you're acting like I'm arguing for flat Earth.
It sounds like you are. It kind of sounds like you are.
You just said everything's round because we can see it. Well, all right, maybe.
But like you take a water, right? You take water, it ends up turning into a ball, right?
More of a teardrop, but okay.
Okay, teardrop.
Yeah.
I could see us being. Oh, look. Maybe we're not a complete ball. You know what? I mean, I was a big fan of this guy back in the day, but not so much now. But Neil deGrasse Tyson said that
he says some crazy shit now.
That he said that if you took Earth, the Earth has the Mariana Trench and then Mount Everest, right?
Mm-hmm. And the difference between the two.
Difference between the two is crazy, right?
Yep.
But he said if you took the Earth, because it's so big, and you shrunk it down to the pinball, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It'd be smooth.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see
So again, I don't know if I believe that guy as much as I used to.
Yeah,
but
same.
yeah,
He's part of the machine, but he's very intelligent. No question about that.
yeah.
They lie about everything, so that's why, like, if either way, it wouldn't surprise me.
No.
No, I mean, I don't know.
Bryce Mitchell is a diehard flat earther, right?
I guess.
And his stance on it is a biblical one and the firmament and all that, correct?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. And what the firmament?
Because, like, if we didn't have science, like, how we do back then, and, like, they just assumed that it was flat, like, the Bible and whatever, maybe that's just what they thought when they wrote the book, when they, like, wrote their account of it. I don't know.
Well, I know that, part of his argument about gravity
Was it Galileo? Was the one that
density.
Who was the one that really was about the Earth round? Was it Galileo? Who was the one that really?
Galileo.
Was the first guy that was really big on it? I forget. I don't remember.
You're asking me, buddy. I'm the truck driver. What else, Franklin? I sent you a couple things today, and I don't remember.
Freedom of speech.
Even like it said in the 6th century, Pythagoras did, Plato and Aristotle.
All said it was round.
Yeah, and them in the 4th century, and then in the 3rd century, Eratosthenes. So a lot of Greek, thinkers.
Well, the freedom of speech thing, I just saw Candace who's railing. I brought this up, if you remember. I brought this up when Spady was in here because I said I'm a Trump supporter, but I'm getting a little nervous because I'm seeing some things that seem to me are starting to, at the very least, infringe on the boundaries of freedom of speech. And the example I brought up was the University of Columbia student who was here on a student visa from Palestine, and he was doing a lot of the anti-Israel protests. And I'm not the foremost expert on this. I don't know, but I do not believe he was inciting direct violence, which is essentially what you cannot do. Under the freedom of speech guidelines, I guess there are some guidelines. You can't yell fire in a crowded building, when it comes to safety, and you can't incite direct violence. And I don't believe that he was, because he wasn't arrested at the time. But now, and I do totally understand, and I'm with Bill on his take on it, there should be special circumstances for people who are here from foreign countries on student visas. I do agree with that. So maybe that would be the difference. But if that was an American, I would have a real problem with what's going on right now. You know what I mean?
If that guy was an American.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be a lot of people say that he was, he is, because he's here, not born American. If there was a born American from that was, being, I don't want to say harassed, but being, the DOJ was coming after them the way they are him. The only thing that I could see it a little bit is he's a, foreign student here. So maybe special circumstances should apply. I do agree with that.
I don't know.
But it seems like, and, Candace is really,
But don't people come to this country because of freedom?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people leave tyranny, right? And leave places where they can't speak freely because they come to America because you can speak freely.
I think the biggest reason would be opportunity, but sure they won't.
Listen, I think if there's someone that's in a place that has Sharia law or something that's like, even more than opportunity, they probably want to just get freedom.
Yeah, for
you know
sure,
what I mean?
For sure. But Candace is the one really that I hear the most saying, she's very critical of Trump, and she's like, listen, I was a Trump supporter, but we are dangerously close to infringing on our freedom of speech. And you're
hearing a lot of people talk about this. Even like people that are on the Israel side are starting to say, whoa, hold up.
Yeah,
like we're starting to step on our rights here. Matt Walsh, who he's a Daily Wire guy, so he's obviously all about Israel, and he's starting to come out and saying, "Hold up, we're kind of stepping on our First Amendment rights here."
Andrew, you're better with this stuff. You're more in the know than me. That the former, I think it was Trump's ambassador to Israel or something like that, is open. He's not anymore. This was in 2016. He is now openly saying that Candace Owens should be arrested. And
which one?
I just said I don't know his name, but I think it was the ambassador to Israel, the old guy with the gray hair, like old dude. Am I saying that right? Ambassador to Israel, or
I know who you're talking about.
Whatever his title was, is openly saying Candace Owens should be arrested. And who was the other one? Candace Owens and somebody else that is sort of speaking out against Israel should be arrested. That's crazy. We live in America.
Yeah.
We're in fucking America. It's insanity. You know what I mean?
Who? What other person?
If I knew, I would have said it. I don't know. Another talk show host or podcast host or something. I'm drawing a blank on who, but if you give me a minute, I'll think of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I know, man. That's the First Amendment. The reason it's not the first one is important, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's number one. I mean, we start taking that away. Then what do we got?
David Friedman was the ambassador.
David Friedman. Okay. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
he said his line was something. There are things we can do, like arrest. You know what I mean? Make arrest, harass. Things like that, and it's like not here, not in America. That that shit shouldn't be happening here.
No, it shouldn't. Well,
you should literally be allowed to say any. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be liked or people can't boo you or people. There's tons of shit that I don't agree with that people say, but you should be allowed to say it, with the exception of the very limited criteria they have on it now, which is essentially you can't incite direct violence. I can't say everybody in the crowd go stab Frankie. I can't say that. Or walking into a building and screaming fire when there's no fire. There are some very, and I'm okay with those because clearly, that would cause safety concerns and injuries and possibly death. You know what I mean? But with the exception of that, I believe we live in a country where you could say whatever the fuck you want.
And if you let people say what they want, you'll know what they're thinking. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you don't let them say what they want, then you don't know what they're really thinking.
Right. Yeah. And there are people that do, and they're outed, and they're canceled, or and that's fine. That's what happens when you speak. But you should have the right to do it.
Yeah,
Here, it's the only country in the world, literally the only country in the world where that is protected. Our neighbors to the north, Canada, that's not even protected. You can get arrested up there. Ireland, remember the teacher got arrested in Ireland.
Well, that guy, remember the guy, Yuri Yasmanamov or whatever, from Russia, the guy we always talk about?
Yeah.
He said this is the last free place in the world.
It is. It's absolutely.
And this was in the 80s. He said if we don't do something now, it's not going to be. Well, guess what? We didn't do the stuff we need to do.
But I'm saying, from my perspective, I voted for this guy, and I'm a little nervous. I'm not. I don't think he's crossed that line yet, but we'll see what happens with this court case with that with the University of Columbia student.
Yeah. Well, the one good thing I did see.
Oh, and Harvard too. Harvard's suing the Trump administration because they're
taking money away because they're not funding them.
Right, but it's because they're not protecting their Jewish students, I believe. Something to do with that, right? Yeah.
It was Candace and Tucker.
Candace and Tucker. I'm sorry, I don't know why I couldn't think of
Tucker. Wow, you don't know that. Come on,
you're
the fucking. It's your counterpart.
You could have thought of that too, buddy.
Trucker Carlson.
Yeah, Candace and Tucker.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think any Ivy League school should get federal funding at all.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, you get me enough. It costs enough to go
there.
You
have your endowment, you get federal funding, and it costs out the ass again.
Exactly. Why do they need it? Why do they need federal funding? What was it?
Because they get it. That's why.
Right, exactly. But what was the original purpose?
Probably because they do research and they do this and
They push all the fucking shit that they want the government to push. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah. They want that. They give them that money, so they spew the shit they want them to spew.
I am so at the point now in 2025 where I'm just like, if it doesn't benefit America, I'm not down with it. I'm tired of being the savior to the world. Everybody should figure out their own country. Okay, maybe I'll phrase it better because a lot of people are going to say, oh, fucking anti-Semite. What? No American soldiers should be dying for other people's wars. That's how I feel about it. Very straightforward, very clear.
Well, they've been for the longest time.
I agree.
And now
enough's enough.
And
But that was one of his promises to us too.
I
so.
know. No, he ran on that,
I know.
bro. He ran on that.
And
I didn't cause any new wars in my first term, and I'm gonna end wars. And you see, Ukraine walked out. Ukraine denied their agreement. So now, like, what? Why are we giving them any money? Take all their money away. Take their money back.
Yep.
Take the money back. Oh, you don't want to do what we're saying?
It didn't
Give me the money back.
It didn't all go
I
to
know,
them.
I know,
It was a lot of laundering going on there. Yep. All right. Well, Frankie, it's so awesome, man, that 6 years later we've become a 100% political podcast. I love it.
That's all right.
Never did I think we'd be talking about this shit, did you? Ever.
What else there? Dude, you look at the Flagrant podcast. All they do is talk about politics.
Yeah.
They have politicians on all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They're fucking comedians.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So this is what everybody's doing. This is what everybody's talking about.
That's true. Because it's so polarizing, you can't help not to. It fires you up.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get fired up about the UFC, but not in the same way I get fired up about my country. You know what I mean?
Bro, because literally our rights are at risk. You know, we have kids. I mean,
Well, they always have been. We just haven't realized it up until 2016.
well, they say
for me.
they've been taking our rights away since we got them.
Yep, 100%.
Civil War, right? They supposedly they brought in new laws that took our rights away. 9/11, the Patriot Act, all that stuff.
That was a huge one.
And we thought it was a good thing when it happened.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I know, but was it by design?
Yeah, I'm
That's
sure.
going to come back to the conspiracy shit again.
Of course it was by
Was
design.
it all by design?
Of course it was.
Yeah.
It all is.
Yep.
People that run the world. It's pretty obvious.
I mean, if you oppose something that affects the people in power or the people that are making the plays, and they have the ability through the Patriot Act to dive into all your personal data,
Bro,
you're easily blackmailed.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
Oh, like the Patriot, like they could say anybody's a terrorist. They can look at everything they want to look at.
And not only can they look at it, they can probably manipulate it.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
I mean,
What's that movie with Will Smith and Gene Hackman?
Bat 20? No.
Enemy of the State.
Yes.
Enemy of the State.
Yep.
And that's kind of like he was getting dealt with by the government because he saw something, right? He saw like an assassination attempt or something like that. And remember what they said? He said, "Don't ever look up. Don't you ever look up. They're taking pictures of you with satellites." That's fucking true, bro.
Yeah.
That was in a movie from the 90s, right? I think.
It was a long time.
Early 2000s.
He just
maybe.
died, right? Did you see?
Gene Hackman died in
carbon
a crazy
monoxide.
fucking scenario.
Yeah, it was crazy. But did you see the video of the body cams of the cops going?
No.
They were like living like hoarders. It was crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Gene Hackman. I guess when you're, it just don't matter. It don't matter if you got
Well, I
money
think.
or not.
Am I correct in saying he had Alzheimer's? I think he had Alzheimer's. No.
What? Hit Alzheimer's?
Alzheimer's, you idiot.
It's
I don't know if he
Alzheimer's,
did,
first
but I
off.
mean, I know
Alzheimer's. I'm
I know
sorry.
he was in pretty bad health towards the
It's
end.
there's no T in it.
Scallops,
No T
not
in it.
scallops.
There's no T in Alzheimer's.
Okay, buddy. Thank you for correcting me.
Old-timers. Honestly, when I was a kid, I
did
thought
not
it-
say
I thought-
old-timers.
I thought it was
I
called
said-
old-timers.
I did not say old-timers.
It sounded like you did.
I did not.
You're an old-timer.
I am an old-timer. I'll be 50 soon, buddy. What, you can take me out to dinner for my 50th?
Friendlies?
I don't have any friends because they are all trying to get in a room with
Yeah,
my
Gene
money.
Gene Hackman had Alzheimer's.
Yes, I thought so. And she died of, I think, I could have this wrong, but
Hand-
didn't she
younger,
die?
right?
Hantavirus pulmonary
Yes,
disorder.
but she'd been dead for a while, and he had like Alzheimer's, and I think
it was a week earlier.
he was just like walking around with a dead body
What?
because he had Alzheimer's.
But how do they know this, though?
Well, I think the what is it? The medical examiner does an autopsy and can kind of.
Did
figure
one
out,
dog also die?
Yeah.
That's weird. Not weird. It's not weird.
The whole thing is fucking weird, bro. But she was
One dog
probably
was out.
his caretaker, and she went from some. She died of some. What was it? Is that the thing to do with?
Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome likely contracted from rodent droppings.
Yes, I was just going to say from mouse droppings probably, but yes, yep,
Jeez. Well, because they said they lived like fucking
yeah, orders.
swaller.
Yeah,
Ugh.
he was in some great movies, man. Bat 21 back in the day, that was probably
Gene Hackman's fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal actor.
great. Yep. All right, pal. We can wrap. We can wrap there.
Good go, buddy.
Yeah.
Nice little Wednesday
Might have to
evening.
change. What would be our political podcast name? We might have to change it from Champ to Tramp. What would we be? Think about that. We'll intro at the next podcast. So
Politicking.
Politicking with the chicken.
Politicking with the trucker and the
Fucker.
Trucker and fucker.
oh, dude. All right, Raj.
All right, buddy. Good go. Good go.
Take it
Glad you're home safe, buddy.
What's up, guys? Make sure you follow us on your favorite podcast platforms. You can find the links in the description below. And if you've enjoyed this episode, hit that like button and share it with a friend. Your support keeps us growing.